One of the trickiest things to do sometimes is ask for help. And the reason for that is it can be embarrassing. It can be incredibly tough, especially if you're a person in a position of authority or it's your job to have the answers and be the person that other people go to. Sometimes it can be really, really tough to say, I need help. And I definitely suffered from that when I was younger. I promise you, I did. But if this is you thinking, it's embarrassing admitting that you need help and that you're underperforming, then you're not the only one. I promise you. Millions of people have this problem, and actually, it's quite a high percentage of people who underperform, and then a large amount of people have problem asking for help, especially if it's around fear of being judged, fear of looking stupid, fear of admitting that you're failing, which are three of the really, really big fears. And if you have any of those, actually putting your hand up and saying I'm underperforming is really tough too, because you have to confirm that you're failing, and you have to then possibly get judged by somebody that you're so scared of that. The last thing you want to do is actually talk about it. So it's a very, very common thing. You're not the only one. And it's these feelings of shame, feeling of inadequacy, feeling not being smart enough. And that leads to fear and anxiety and chronic self-doubt. And this is when we get labels like imposter syndrome, or you get labelled that, it's actually, some people can get very sad or even depressed because they are feeling that they are not being who they are, not doing what they're capable of doing. And then often it's a confusing time because people know they're capable. Often the clients I work with prove their ability. I have proved their ability many times to others. So they have great results often, but they still, give themselves often a very, very hard time because they know they're capable of more, but they don't want to admit it. So this is why this is one of the big, big taboos. And these are the biggest reasons why people underperform, not because of a lack of skills. Most of the people I work with are smart. They have talent, they have skills, they have proof of their track record, but only to a certain point. So if this is you, you can change it. I promise you can change it, because it's the over doubt, the over fearing, the excessive amount of fear that says, are you sure? That's too much of a risk. What would people think? What will people say? And this is the mechanism that leads to people holding back, procrastinating, imposter syndrome, and all those labels that people talk about. But really, we need to look at the behavior of why you're choosing to not do what you're capable of doing. And the three biggest ways this plays out in business is people undersell themselves, meaning they don't get paid what they really should. So they're working at a rate lower than they should. And this could be whether you are having your own business and you charge too little, or in employment when you are not asking for the right amount of money. And I was speaking to somebody literally yesterday who found out that there was somebody doing a comparable job and there was a market pay difference. The client was willing to pay, but they didn't negotiate the right level because they were scared of what would happen if they did. Am I good enough? Will they reject me? Or will I not get the gig? So they got paid at least 50%, 55% or something less than somebody else doing a similar job. So we often get underpaid. The other one is we don't promote ourselves, meaning we don't market ourselves as we should if it's our own business or our own service that we're promoting. And that's the one I definitely had a problem with back in my 30s. I didn't market myself in the way. I didn't want to get out there and tell people about my skills. But if you're employed, you don't promote yourself, you don't speak up, you don't talk about your value and your skills. So it can happen both employed and unemployed, exactly the same as underpricing. And the third one is what I call underniching, and I think I made that word up, but you're underniched, meaning you're working either in a role that is too low down, or you are working with too lower level clients. because you don't believe in yourself, you're undervaluing yourself, or whatever it is that is the cause, and that's what needs to be found. So it's a really, really common thing. It's a really, really common thing that, because it's so common, there is actually a pattern of why it happens. So therefore, it can be changed. It can be changed really quickly. Typically, to get the thinking process out of the way, because the way I look at it is this: we have a result, and that result is created by actions. Actions are created by decisions, and decisions are created by the way we allow ourselves to think. So if you are on here watching this, which I'm glad you are, it's because your brain says, I am underperforming. I am underpaid, I'm in the wrong job, lower level job, I'm not niching, whatever it happens to be, you know that you're capable of more. But there's a part of your thinking that stops you. So you're making decisions based on not believing in yourself, not valuing yourself, not knowing how to value yourself, not knowing how to promote yourself or be comfortable with that. And a great example of this is even in sales, with salespeople. I've worked with several salespeople who are actually brilliant at selling a product or a service. They have no problem with that. They're totally confident, but they can't sell themselves. So these are people with proven sales skills who still have this problem. So this is how common it is. Even people who know how to get the best deal can't or won't do it for themselves. So it's usually not because of lack of knowledge and skills. Sometimes there is some skill sets that you can work on, but most of the time our clients come with us and they say, I know I'm capable of more. I know I should be earning more. I know I should be at a high level job. I know I should be, but I won't let myself. And when you break this taboo of asking for help, then you can fix it. And this is what we do. And it's a 4-week process to fix that. It's 4 weeks. That's it. No matter how long you've been doing it, it's just 4 weeks. But you just have to pluck up the courage and say, I don't want to admit it. I don't want to tell anybody. But we don't judge, because this is who we work with. And we actually love helping people who are accidentally getting in their own way. So hopefully this has been useful to you. But don't make it a taboo anymore. Don't make it a problem, because we all underperform in some way, shape or form. But when we're chronically underperforming and it's costing us in our lifestyle, our money, our income, our job satisfaction, then if you've got that part of your brain that says, I know I'm capable of more, but then you hold yourself back. That's the conflict. That's the battle we can help you with. Just please get in touch. I hope this has been useful. Get in touch and say, hey, Stephen, I'm a bit nervous of telling you this, because I promise you, we won't care. We won't care about judging you. We care about helping you get to the level you should be at. And we can do that really quick. 4 weeks, I promise you. Ask us how. Hey, anyway, hope this has been useful to you, and I'll speak to you soon.